Thank you very much. So let's start with any updates from the team. Does anyone from the team want to make an update? We've mostly been working on the same issues as before. I don't think there are any major new things.
Movements we've been working on around Firefox issues, and we hope those will be out on Jitsi in the following days. And new stable release will follow after that.
The pre-join issues. So a few pre-join issues got fixed recently. The code is in master. I'm not sure if it's already deployed, but if not, it should be deployed here very soon. Basically, the issues were when you double-click the join button or you click it too early, you may end up in a situation where let's say the media is not working for you at all, like either nobody's hearing you or you don't receive any media and you're kind of not in the call, but it looks like you're in the call. I mean, you see participants and thumbnails, but no media. Yeah, and I think, yeah, I can't think of anything else that is worth mentioning.
Thanks, Christo and Damien. Anyone else wants to make any updates?
We've updated our Smack version recently, and we discovered a race bug in it, which can result.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Occasional thread leaks and stuck conferences, which we have a fix for, but haven't deployed yet. So that should be on Jitsi soon. I don't know whether is that unstable yet. That bug, the Smack update. Okay, so that hopefully that'll affect Jitsi, but hopefully nothing else. And we should have a fix for that soon. I mean, we have a fix for it. We should deploy the fix soon.
And the way it might affect Jitsi is that very few, but some conference names will become inaccessible.
All right. And specifically, those are not names that, not just specific names, but some conferences that have the issue may not be able to be recreated afterwards, is essentially.
Yeah. So if you do run into that state, just pick a different conference name, which I know is sometimes hard to coordinate, but you should have a fix soon. To deploy the fix soon.
All right. I think that's all from the team. Let's open the microphone to the floor. Any questions or comments from the community?
And is anybody else
end-to-end encryption is off?
Can you hear that? Is anybody else getting this end-to-end encryption is off message? I kept getting an end-to-end encryption is off.
No, I'm not hearing that. Is anyone else hearing it? I mean, I heard it from you, but does anyone else hear it locally?
No, nothing here.
End-to-end encryption is off.
Yeah, I keep saying that.
Are you? What browser are you on?
I'm on Firefox right now. I have heard. I've seen someone post about it in the forum, but I've never experienced it yet.
Is anyone else here on Firefox and hearing this?
Other people in the chat are reporting that they hear it on Chrome and on Mac, on Brave.
Yes, I'm hearing it in Firefox.
Freddy, can you send me your console logs? You can send it personally in the forum. Yeah.
Okay.
End-to-end encryption is off.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going.
All right.
End-to-end encryption is off.
Okay, got it.
End encryption is off.
I'm gonna refresh and or just I don't know. Oh no, let me mute. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to look into that. Anyone else wants to?
End-to-end encryption is off.
Where is the call advertised, publicized on the website? I couldn't find it when I was looking yesterday.
Jitsi.org/the call.
Is there a link to that?
What do you mean?
Well, when I
Would you like
go
me to paste
to
it in chat?
no, I found it. I mean, I'm here. When I go to jitsi.org, I don't see a link to the call. And I was wondering if I just didn't look hard enough.
Yeah, it's in a few places. I cannot tell you off the top of my head right now. I think we did a change recently. I replaced one of them, I believe. That was one of the most prominent ones. So we might have to think about another one.
Actually, I don't see it on the website either.
Yeah. We'll try to. I'll try to see if it needs to be more prominent. Any other questions?
There is a question in the chat about multiple video stream support.
Why don't you take that, Jay?
Yeah, I think Pavel is also here in the call. So do you want?
Yes, hi, this is Pavel. So we actually started an effort of adding multiple video stream per endpoint support, which is basically to change the way the presenter mode works, which is about splitting camera and screen streams. So Jaya pasted here in the chat a link to the community post where there's a Google Doc linked with more detailed description of the approach. So I would encourage everyone to check that. Basically, the high-level idea is that right now we have this limitation where everywhere is assumed that endpoint can only have one stream. So this is used everywhere in signaling and in the app logic, that you always kind of get the first audio or video track. So in order to support multiple ones, we need to add stream identifiers concept. So we're starting with adding source names. So this is going to be used in all signaling messages for adjusting constraints or selecting endpoints. And then once we have them, so there will be two phases. The first one will be about adding this source name signaling and adjusting all messages, which is the support for receiving multiple streams. And once that is in place, we're going to add the actual implementation of sending multiple streams. And at this phase, we're also going to adjust all the logics in the Jitsi meet on front end. Because right now we have things like get local video selectors. So we're going to have to split that into get local camera or get local screen, and also change the way the presenter mode is implemented in Jitsi Meet. And the way this is going to be rolled out is that whoever has a deployment needs to make sure that the first part for receiving is widely deployed to all clients, including mobile devices, before sending can be turned on. And both receiving and sending will be behind feature flags. This is basically to avoid trying to implement backwards compatibility in GCOFO by ensuring that only one stream is sent at a time. This will be kind of complicated, so I'm just trying to avoid that. So because of that, yeah, you need to make sure that first all the clients are updated, and only then you can switch it on or off from the feature flag level. Yeah, and that's it. Are there any questions on that?
So Pavel, your plan for turning Jikofo off at the beginning, I haven't kept up with that, but I don't actually know. Do you guys use or do not use Jikofo? Is that a temporary thing, or is that just that you don't something you don't need?
No, I didn't say turning off Jikofo.
No, sorry, I meant turning like not requiring backward compatibility in Jikofo.
No, so the thing here is about not mixing up in single conference endpoints which support new signaling with endpoints that do not support it.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. I see. Any questions for Pavel? Any other questions?
What is the timeline for this feature? When do you think? What's the ETA?
I don't think that there's and sorry, Pavel, for
Yeah,
preempting.
it's not going very fast. We're at the first stage for adding the source names where they are just sent and added to XML messages and stuff. But
actually, I think, Pavel, the way that I phrased it last time, and you let me know if you agree with this, is that I'd be surprised if this hasn't landed by the end of March.
Yeah, that's for sure. I would say 1-3 months, something like that.
I think 3 months is a little bit optimistic because then we also need to add support in Jitsi Meet and all these things.
Yeah, I mean the implementation. Actually, it's not that complicated as it sounds once you kind of go into details. I'm not saying that it's going to be released anywhere, but like the implementation behind the feature flags should be available for testing.
All right, so you can take an optimistic deadline as somewhere in January, and my more cautious deadline as somewhere in April.
Yeah.
So probably somewhere in between, things will start becoming visible.
Thank you. One more question on this. Are you looking for support from the rest of the community to work on this with you, or is this going to be completely 8x8 driven?
Yeah, sure. If you want to help, just check on this post because it has like the implementation details on the specifics. And I'd be happy to jump on a quick call and walk you through if you want to help.
And just to make sure that credit goes where credit's due, this isn't an 8x8 only effort. This was actually started by Pavel, who is at Vowel, so it is already a community effort.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. Thank you, Emma.
All right. Any other questions?
There's
that
some
case,
there's
go
some
ahead.
in the chat.
Well, you'll go ahead and ask them.
I just got confirmation from Sol that this with the end-to-end encryption was fixed on Friday, so this will go out on Jitsi in the next 3 days.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And about the breakout rooms, because now at university, the new semester is starting, and I'm introducing it already at a seminar. So it would be a really great feature to have also then a breakout. Well, so I know it's on work, and it's of course not so easy to put in, but I'm just asking. Okay, thanks.
Specifically, you're asking about the delivery of the end-to-end feature. The breakout room feature.
Yes, because I was watching it now at GitHub, so it's in fact almost done what I see, but I'm
It
simply
is,
asking. Yeah.
but there's still so much more work in styling. I was just chatting about this with Sue today.
Mhm.
It is something we're going to try and get in by the end of the year.
Okay, no, good. It is. But okay, anyway, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Why anyway? Did I not answer part of the question? Maybe I
No,
misunderstood.
no, it is answered already. So it is, it is answered.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. What else do we have?
I have two comments before we jump off.
Right.
The first one is going to sound almost like a like an echo chamber, because we seem to say this all the time, but I think it's important that we keep saying it. So that we really, 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 really do appreciate the work that the team puts into this. It's in some simple things. I was looking through it last week, and just the seamless switching from VP9 to VP8, for example, is just absolutely beautiful. When you have a client that doesn't support VP9 join a call, and everything just automatically switches. There's no break, nothing, and just little things like that, that kind of remind us of how much work goes into this. And I really want to just take the time to thank you guys again and again. So I know you get thanked all the time. I don't want you to.
We don't actually. So
Really?
thank you very much, Fred. This is very kind of you, and we really appreciate the support. And it's actually good to have your feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. The other thing that okay, clap for me. Yay. The other thing that I was wondering about is, so I tend to look and okay, thank you. I've been clapped for. I tend to look at I tend to play around with the nightly version quite a bit, the unstable version, and occasionally I run into issues. And I was wondering what would be the best way to highlight those issues. I think it's unfair to post them on GitHub, because again, these are nightly. Unstable by just by designation means that it's still being worked on. I also get a little concerned about posting these issues on just the general community forum, because then people get alarmed and not realizing it is an unstable version. I don't know if there's a preferred way of feeding back on features, or just things that
No, the community is fine. So the goal of this community is not to preserve the mental stability of everyone who reads it. If it is alarming to people, don't read it. So it's actually less work than tickets, because tickets then get accumulated unless someone goes and clears them. Just be clear that, hey, I observed this in the nightly. Is this known? Are people going to work on it? That is helpful, because it lets us, it helps us with early detection of some things that have slipped by. So it is very helpful if you raise them there. And also here, it's fine if you want to talk about it sometimes.
All right, sounds great. Thank you. I won't take any more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, I have one question. Can you hear me fine right now?
Yes, we hear you fine.
Okay. We recently upgraded about 2 weeks ago to the latest stable versions, and we have a number of users complaining that when people start and stop their screen shares on the receiver end, if we have n number of people in the conference, there always seems to be around, or pretty much one user who loses hearing audio when that happens. I did search the community forums and the GitHub issues, and we did see comments from other users regarding this recently. Is this a known issue?
I think we did hear something like that. Now, I'm not sure whether that was Damien, Jaya. Didn't we roll back something there? I think we did address. Wasn't that a GCOFO thing that we fixed? Wasn't that part of the SMAC stuff, actually? I'm wondering. Not the latest room locking ones, but wasn't that another SMAC related thing? Because I feel we were addressing quite a heap of those, and I feel we fixed it with smack or something. Can someone remind me what that was about?
There was a bug with Jitsi failing to join. But I think that's separate.
Right, that's true. There was that one. But I feel that there was something else, like a bunch of people starting to complain about more regular mutes, and I think we did something about it. Does that ring a bell for anyone?
Do you see any error logs in Gkofo when this happens?
I can't comment on that yet. We just started getting these reports in, so we're kind of in the beginning of the initial stages of looking into it.
And do everybody lose audio from that participant or just randomly?
It kind of seems I believe it's the audio. Like one person on the receiving end loses the audio from the person that started or stopped the screen share. I think that's what they were reporting. It's easily fixed when they leave and rejoin. They get everything back.
I definitely think there was something with regard to screen share that was fixed recently. I wish Yana was here.
Yeah, that was something related to Plan B, where a user tried to share for a second time. That would fail, but I don't know if it had anything to do with audio.
I should add, we also noticed that there was a recent Chromium update where the Chrome tab, when you share a Chrome tab, the default for the checkbox for audio
Yes.
is now on. And I believe that, I don't know, so it's may be related to that. I think we're starting to tie it being related to that people are accidentally sharing audio when they didn't mean to, because that checkbox is now on by default.
Yes, that's true. I mean, that's something we have noticed as well. I was going to bring up that here. Yes, Chrome's behavior has changed, and then the audio is shared audio is checked by default, and that's something we'll have to look into. Maybe that's somehow affecting the audio once it goes back to the mic. But what I don't understand is like, why is it happening to one or two users and not for all the users in the call? So if you can actually open create a post about this and share all the information you have, we'll try to debug this further.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we go, a quick question from 8x8. So we're considering productizing our Jitsi and Jibri clouds. So anyone who wants to run their Jitsi Meet installation, but would like to not have to deal with having to set up telephony separately, or recording or live streaming or transcriptions, we would be able to provide you with that functionality. So I'm curious, and like, first of all, if there are any comments here. The thinking is that most people who install Jitsi Meet, rather than using an off-the-shelf thing, likely do that with privacy concerns in mind. But then also, not all calls have the same privacy properties, and calls that are being transcribed, recorded, or live streamed, or have participants from the PSTN likely have lower privacy concerns than other calls. And so in such cases, it might be easier to just use the 8x8 cloud for that. So if anyone has questions, is interested in that, has questions, please email me at email@jitsi.org. So that in case you're interested in being part of our pilot program, and we're probably going to send an early access registration form out on the forum soon. And if there are any questions or comments about that, also feel free to ask them here. If not, we can talk about it the next time.
There is a question about, do you expect any improvements to Jibri in the near future or integration with GStream or IO?
What improvements in Jibri would that be? there's nothing, no work plans with regard to GStreamer.io. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know what it is, and I'm not aware of what problem it solves. If there are any pending problems that people are interested in solving with Jitsi, I'd like to hear what they are.
Guess Sofo, can you step in?
Okay. All right. Okay, so again, if you're interested, email me at email@jitsi.org. If you're interested in becoming a part of our pilot there. All right. This was great. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.